A young boy witnesses a woman named Misty Mountains dying in a car accident. Later that week, struggling private investigator Holland March is approached by Mrs. Glenn, Misty Mountains' aunt, who is obsessively insisting that she has seen her niece alive. March is doubtful about her assertion, but realizes that a missing girl named Amelia Kuttner is somehow connected and decides to take the case. However, Amelia does not want to be located and hires enforcer Jackson Healy to threaten March into keeping his distance from her. Later that evening, Healy is confronted at his residence by two unknown assailants identified as Blueface and Older Guy, who try to extract information about Amelia's location. After incapacitating the attackers, Healy succeeds in fending them off with a concealed shotgun. He then joins forces with an unwilling March to locate Amelia before the thugs can. They are joined by Holly, March's young daughter, who disagrees with her father's approach to investigations and disapproves of his tactics of tricking clients into paying more and pretending to deliver positive outcomes to disguise his shortcomings. The two discover that Amelia collaborated with Misty Mountains and an independent filmmaker named Dean on an experimental film that combined elements of inappropriate topic and investigative journalism titled How Do You Like My Car? Big Boy. The film focused on the issue of smog in Los Angeles, as both filmmakers were activists against the rising air pollution. However, Dean suffered a mysterious death in a fire that destroyed the film. The duo attends a party to track down the film's backer, Sid Shattuck, a well-known adult content producer. After stumbling around the party, a tipsy March unexpectedly finds Shattuck dead while unintentionally encountering Amelia. Holly, after trying to look into things herself, is lured into a vehicle by Blueface and the Older Guy. Healy engages in a struggle with the Older Guy, while Blueface attempts to murder Amelia from within his car, but is thwarted by Holly, who alerts Amelia and then flees with her. As they pursue them, Blueface suffers severe injuries in a hit-and-run accident. While lying gravely injured on the road, he informs Healy that their superior has sent a hitman called John Boy to eliminate Amelia March and his family, to eliminate any more witnesses. Healy quietly chokes Blueface to death to safeguard March and Holly, later telling Holly that he succumbed to his wounds. Following a short inquiry, Amelia's mother, Judith Kuttner, a senior official in the U.S. Department of Justice, meets the two. She asserts that her daughter is suffering from delusions and paranoia, directing them to the Las Vegas mob that is attempting to infiltrate the pornography industry in Los Angeles. Healy uncovers that the notepaper containing March's address, provided by Amelia, matches a sheet he discovered at the party. This leads them to an airport hotel where Amelia intended to distribute the film. However, they arrive just in time to see John Boy brutally attacking the men there, prompting them to quickly escape. In a twist of fate, Amelia falls onto their car from the building above, knocking herself out. They rush her back to March's house, where she discloses that those pursuing her are affiliated with a secretive group of Detroit automakers. Amelia discovered proof that they had worked together to hide the catalytic converter, which controls exhaust emissions. Instead of taking her findings to the media, she decided to create How Do You Like My Car? Big Boy. To reveal their collusion, suspecting that both they and the government were involved in the conspiracy. Meanwhile, Judith instructed her assistant, Tally, to set up a delivery from March and Healy of a case that was said to hold $100,000. In a sleepy daze, March inadvertently crashes their car, leading to the discovery of torn magazines that unveil their betrayal. Back at home, Holly faces an ambush from John Boy, who poses as a family doctor sent by Tally. When March and Healy return, they find themselves in a shootout with John Boy, who manages to flee. Meanwhile, an eager Amelia departs, only to encounter John Boy, resulting in her tragic demise. March and Healy are looking for the movie once more after their attempt to take the case to court is denied because they had a lack of supporting documentation. Mrs. Glenn takes the two to the location where she saw Misty Mountains alive. They conclude that there was a reprint of the movie after discovering a concealed projector inside and seeing Mrs. Glenn, who is blind, mistake footage of Misty for her niece. They discover that the projectionist for the movie is Chet, a fellow protester they had questioned about Dean. Amelia and Chet collaborated to make How Do You Like My Car, Big Boy public by splicing it into the presentation film for the hotel-hosted Los Angeles Auto Show. At the automobile exhibition, the two discover that John Boy and Older Guy, along with several other criminals, are already present and have questioned an intoxicated Chet, finding out that the movie will be shown automatically from a window of the structure. Healy and March try to get there first but are halted at gunpoint by Tally. Before she is able to eliminate them, Holly shows up while acting as room service and splashes coffee on Tally. Holly's scheme is at first ineffective since the coffee is cold, but Tally quickly slips on the spill and loses consciousness. During the following struggle, Older Guy plunges to his demise, whereas Healy restrains John Boy by rendering him unconscious. He concedes his life for Holly's benefit. The detectives bring How Do You Like My Car, Big Boy to the authorities, and although Judith is taken into custody, the Detroit automobile manufacturers face no accusations due to a lack of evidence. During her conversation with March and Healy prior to her court proceedings, Judith asserts that she had no intention of having her daughter murdered and defends her participation by stating that what is good for Detroit is good for America. Subsequently, Healy and March choose to keep collaborating as private detectives, naming their firm The Nice Guys. That is it for today's video. Like and subscribe to be aware of our newest videos.